Okay, here we are again. More Katawa Shoujo. Now, where did we leave off last time? Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Shady encounter. That's 28th. I would say right here. Yeah, this seems about right. Okay. Muto reads equations and formulas to us one by one. In his usual and enthusiastic monotone directly from the book. Okay, hang on a second. I'm just gonna pick on here just to remind myself where we last left off. Oh, right. They were looking for a gift for Hanako for her birthday. That's right. Okay, I remember this. And I do remember this is where the MC was also starting to question, like, whether he liked her and stuff. And then he had, like, that one moment that they kind of rubbed me the wrong way. When he was like, oh, I'm gonna be her knight in shining armor. Like, I'll help her, like, get through everything. And it sounded very... I can fix her. Which, yeah, that doesn't seem too good. Alright, let's go. It's possible that he might be excited about what he teaches us. Sometimes he can display an awkward spark of passion for it, as if he started to get into the material. Most days, however, are like this one. While recovering is fairly simple, so I find it increasingly difficult to keep my concentration on him. Hey, Gendy. Welcome, welcome. It's not too long until my legs begin aching again. Which only makes it even harder. I'm almost starting to regret walking around the city yesterday with Lily. Since leaving the hospital, I've done very little physical exertion. Walking to and from the local corner store hardly counts. Despite Emmy's attempts when I first arrived in Yamago, I've largely given up on the idea of ever returning to my old level of fitness. I have little doubt that's why walking around town for so many hours has made me quite so sore. It's depressing, and it reminds me of one more thing I can't do since I had my heart attack. It makes me feel pathetic. Now, Ikizawa, it's odd for Muto to ask Hanako a question, but not unheard of. She quickly jumps to her feet, a little startled, and immediately pins her eyes onto him. She knows that Muto calling on her is rare, so all eyes in the classroom are going to be on her. This way, she doesn't run the risk of making eye contact with anyone else. Yes? In this particular example of a redox reaction, the combustion of methane reaction actually produces one more product that is listed. That product is... Even though it's a softball question, she timidly waits a bit before answering, biting down slightly on her lower lip, as if to keep her concentration. Hey, Leaf. Welcome, welcome. You haven't missed much. It's just, our MC Hisao kind of internally monologuing for a bit about, how out of shape he's become since, his heart attack, because, he has not been, doing any kind of walking whatsoever. So, his walking around with Lily the day before, when they were looking for a present for Hanako, because it's her birthday coming up. Yeah, he is sore as F. Sore as fuck. Anyway, let's continue. Heat? Well done. It's an exothermic reaction, with the reaction giving more heat than is put into it. Receiving a nod from Muto, Hanako takes her seat once again and gives a relieved sigh. A shaky start, but it's something. It'd be nice to take her out for her birthday. Some are different from the usual isolation of her room in the tea room. With the progress she's made until now, I don't think she'll have much of a problem going to the city. Right then, for the remainder of this class, I'd like you to work in groups of 3 or 4 on the problems in Chapter 12. I'll be here if you need me. We just sits down behind his desk, pulls some loose sheets out of a folder, and starts on some kind of paperwork of his own. I thought teachers were supposed to do that kind of thing after class, not during it. Regardless, I look to my right to pick out someone to form a group with. Given the two smiling faces hovering near mine, I don't think I'm going to get much say in the matter. I suppose we have a group then. Hee-chan, you want to work together? Okay, that's great. It's really been a while. The class begins the process of noisily shuffling the desks around, with Shizune doing the same as she puts hers in front of mine. She's a little lucky to not be able to hear the din of the classroom, which is loud enough to cause some discomfort. Truth be told, working with Shizune and Misha is probably a good outcome. Shizune and I are pretty good at this subject, and Misha has really nice handwriting. Oh, is that, Hanako? As I look to Misha, I notice a tall figure behind her. The shadow catches Misha's attention as well. It sure to face a dark-haired observer. Good afternoon, Hanako. Hello. Shizune finally notices Hanako, after looking up and following the gazes of Misha and I. In quick measure, she taps Misha on the shoulder to get her attention before signing away. Shi-chan says, if you're looking for a group, you can join ours. Hanako looks down and blushes a little at the offer. Of all the people in the class, Hanako's most familiar with 3 of us, so it's reasonable that she'd come to us first. And again, her actually coming up to a group with the intention of joining them is something she apparently very rarely did before. She leaves briefly to drag her desk over, and Shizune and Misha wheel back to me as soon as her back is turned. I guess we get to play again, Hee-chan. You hardly ever play with us anymore. I wonder why. You two always seem to have some ulterior motive. That hurt, Hee-chan. I'd almost think you were insulting me. But it's Hee-chan, so I know that you're joking. There's a great sense of humor about it. It'd be awful if someone were to take advantage of your good nature. Like, making you help them with their work. Wahaha! Shizune seems excited for a second, a little surprised that I'm willing to challenge her, but when she sees Hanako coming back, she backs off with a smile. I guess the mind games are over early today. Hanako gently sets her desk in front of Misha's. Her eyes are locked downwards, and I'm left wondering why until I look around the class. Most are busy setting up their own groups, but a few are casting curious glances at her. At this range, it's hard to tell whether that is where their interest in her ends, or if they are talking about her as well. Ooh, man, social anxiety, huh? Strange. No one bats an eye when Hanako runs out of class to avoid group work. But now that she's making an effort, they're staring at her as if she's done something wrong. We all move to sort ourselves out, spreading our textbooks and worksheets around the larger surface created by the 4 joined desks. It isn't long before the class as a whole gets down to work. Hi, Hanako. It's nice to finally work with you. Yeah. Are you the reason Hee-chan has been avoiding us lately? Shi-chan says it's a little rude, but if Hee-chan wants to spend time with a cute girl, it's understandable. I don't think it's like that. Hanako starts to fidget, unused to this kind of attention. I think that an ordinary person would drop the conversation by now, but Misha is like the antithesis of Hanako. Part of that includes being blind to ordinary social cues, while Hanako is overly sensitive to them. Because of that, Misha barrels ahead with the questions, too quickly for me to get a chance to interject and guide the discussion somewhere more comfortable. Really? So, he wasn't hanging out with you yesterday? No. I can feel my cover being blown already. Lily didn't want Hanako to know that we were out buying presents for her, let alone planning out her birthday party. It wouldn't be good for her to find out. Yeah, it's gonna ruin the surprise, that's the whole point. Yeah, I was doing something else. You know how it is. Really? I wonder what was so important for Hee-chan to blow us off like that. If it wasn't to spend time with Hanako, then what could it be? It's really interesting. Now this is starting to feel like an interrogation. I'm surprised at how Misha is able to exert such a feeling of pressure without actually intending to. What? Were you with Lily? I did kind of half wonder that if Hanako were to somehow see Hisao like hanging out with Lily or hanging out with the other girl, the one that was missing a hand. I forgot her name already. Fuck. Um, and how easily they kind of like talk to each other and stuff. Like, would she be, I don't know, like a little jealous? Or not jealous, maybe, but more like, what's the word? Oh man, what's the word I'm looking for? I just had it right now and it just disappeared. Like self-conscious about herself. And then like doing comparisons, like, oh, I don't know if I can ever like get him to talk to me like the way he does easily with them, and oh boy. And the music stops, so this makes me nervous too. Out of nowhere, Hanako manages to stumble on the answer. She may be dreadfully quiet and shy, but she's very intuitive. What makes you say that? Yesterday, Lily said something similar. Suspicious. He-chan, I demand that you explain yourself. Hey, shouldn't we be doing the assignment? But it's so mysterious. Even Hanako wants to know. I turn to look at Hanako. It's true. An expression on her face, it's obvious that she wants to know as well, and I think we're past the point where I could weasel out of having to provide an explanation. I apologize to Lily in my mind. She really did want to keep it a secret, but now it doesn't seem possible anymore. I feel a rush of conflicting emotions, so jumbled that I can't readily identify them. But they crash around in my head as I try to calm down and speak. Alright, I'll tell you. I went into town with Lily, but it wasn't what you think. Lily and I were, for Hanako's birthday, we were... Cat's out of the bag, but it looks like Hanako is taking it a little better than I thought she would. A brief silence passes around our little group as Shizune and Misha look at each other sheepishly. I could tell that they didn't expect their game to turn out like this. They're like, oh shit, we fucking ruined the surprise, didn't we? Misha looks up to Hanako in order to apologize, then pauses. Hanako is staring at the middle of her desk and barely moving. A maudlin expression on her face. I guess I was wrong about her taking it well. Hanako? I'm sorry. There's a few seconds pause, but Hanako lifts and shakes her head. It's okay. Her expression looks odd, like she's very tired. That doesn't seem natural, but it's nothing alarming. Nobody really wants to continue with the current conversation, so we open our textbooks and begin our group work. This is pretty dull. While the equations we're supposed to work out as a group will take a while, most of it is going to be boringly mechanical. The music is getting a little ominous. It also doesn't help that while that didn't go as bad as it could have, it has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage. Shizune's face betrays that she has about the same expectations of our work as I do. And the two of us begin to write our group's results. Meisha, on the other hand, is scrunching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has the same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'd do quite well in class, if she actually followed the lessons regularly. I wonder if this might be why Shizune seems so hard on her. Maybe she sees the potential and she doesn't see her pulling it out? Hey Hanako, do you understand this? Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect her hope is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. Not really. I guess... Surprised by how tense she isn't answering, but she settles back down. She breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lower reminds me of a deflating balloon. Damn, this is a real fucking sudden shift in mood. You okay? I could go over this bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly. But then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation, despite what she said. Misha quickly interjects, entirely oblivious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended up at one of our results, step by step. Times like this remind me that this kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels that way to me due to my grasp of the subject. It's a satisfying feeling. As Misha brings her bald fist into an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her, and she manages to work out the next equation by herself, with a minimum of guidance. Throughout all of this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. She's normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes roving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hands in some way or shifting her shoulders periodically. Right now, these small movements that I've gotten used to seeing, are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong. I understand that, actually. It's actually something I have personally observed with Icy. Several times in person, like, he fidgets a lot, so that's something I'm used to. I'm used to him always, like, doing a little bit of movement or something. So there was one moment where, during the trip, he was put in a situation that he wasn't quite anticipating, like, at all. And that was basically, we were giving a ride to one of our group friends, like, their friend, basically. And Icy is a socially anxious guy. So being seemingly trapped in a van with someone you don't know, who's, basically a stranger to you, it really got to him. Not in a bad way. Horror story right here. Not like bad as in like he freaked out or anything like that, but he responded in the same way Hanako is right here. He was still. Like, very still. Because I'm so used to his movement, I knew something was wrong. And even though when I asked him, hey, are you okay? And he's just like, yeah, he's kind of said it very quickly. But the way he answered, like, I already knew. I'm like, okay. Like, to me, that confirmed. I'm like, okay, the problem is this guy here. And he's not going to feel better until this guy gets out of the van. So, once we finally dropped off this guy at his house and stuff, with the van still, I remember, like, I undid my, my seatbelt, so I leaned over to give him a hug. I guess I ever seen someone freeze up before. Yeah, me either. It doesn't happen too often. This is the first... I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not too observant, but with Icy, at least, I was very observant and noticing that him being so still, like, just was the biggest tip that something was wrong. I thought you friend to a friend at the car. No, we dropped them off civilly. And, I gave him a hug. He needed a moment to just breathe it out, calm down. Because once we got to the hotel room, our hotel rooms, he just took a moment to, like, basically have a little bit of alone time there. His alone time, like, by himself, basically, to just wind down from that. Because, see, like, Icy does really well in social situations, so long as there is if there's some, like, an obvious escape route, you could say. If there's a way that he, As long as he knows that there's a way that he can, like, just step away or go somewhere, you know, then he feels better about it. If he feels like he is legitimately trapped, though, like in a situation, in a place, it can't, yeah, it kind of gets to him a little bit, so. But yeah, yeah, this, like, this whole thing with Hanako right there, it just reminded me of him, so. Okay, well, let's see if Hanako can get some alone time or something. Oh, step away to breathe. Hanako? Are you sure you're okay? Yes. Are you sure? I'm fine. You're not fine. If you say you're fine, you're not fine. A little more strongly this time, but she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer, yet at the same time, I could tell she doesn't want to talk about it further. Having already had one very awkward conversation today, that I'm still not fully over, I don't want to pursue the matter too much either. We settle back into our routine, debating over our answers whenever a doubt comes up. But as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating. She had made so much progress. It makes me a little angry as she's sitting Misha for undoing the surprise Lily had wanted to keep secret so much. I know I'm at fault too. Maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. Shizune has noticed Hanako's silence as well, and is also getting antsy. I can see it on her face. It's strange that even though she's deaf, Shizune has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday we might work on a bigger project, like one that's so big it's worth celebrating afterwards. Like with ice cream or cake. If you act like this, we won't take you along. I could tell that they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that kind of approach will work on Hanako. It would just make her feel worse. Oh, guys, don't tease her like that. Hey, Chan, it's all in good fun. Shi-chan says she teases everyone anyway. They do back off though, with Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again. You should not read the room. I think it was a way, like, I think she understands, like, I think she does understand that Hanako is being very quiet, but also that she is withdrawing. And Shizune's trying to push her, like, don't do that. How about you, you know, help us here with the team project that we're doing? It's just that going about the way she did right now was probably not the best method. On seeing how difficult the problem she is working on is, I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or mere coincidence. It takes way more of our time than necessary because Shizune keeps disagreeing with me while I'm trying to explain it to Misha, and Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick, in fact, that she forgets to translate what Shizune is saying. Hey, the clock is kind of ticking down. We should speed up a little bit. He-chan, you sound like a little like Shi-chan there. Just because I looked at my watch? Jeez, is that really all it takes? Time management. And suddenly I'm like student council president. I am awful at time management. Oh, shit, what the fuck? I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing, and freeze. Our papers are covered in equations, but Hanako's only halfway there. It seems like she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. When I realize that, I want to kick myself for how dumb I've been. I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't just going to brush off what happened so easily. I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She has been slowly shutting down for the last half hour, and I had no clue. Her pen is still in her hand, but she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Only the fact that she tries to inch away once she feels Shizune, Misha, and me looking at her tells me that she is... tells me that she is even still conscious. We look away, and at least in my case, it's partly out of shame that it's gone to this point. Though on the outside, she has shut down almost completely. We know that it's a different story on the inside. What kinds of things could she be thinking about as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself, as if by willing it she could somehow disappear? Everyone is looking at her now, stealing quick glances in between putting the finishing touches on their work. Misha attempts to ask her what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she weren't frozen to her seat, she would probably run out of the room right now. Oh wait, is she crying? That's tears I'm seeing right there, right? Going down her face. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom, and for a second I'm ready to snap at her, because I can only imagine how much worse it's making Hanako feel. Of course, if I were to do that, it would only make the situation worse. I'd believe that Hanako had gone stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough, and I was too eager to believe it. Now she's terrified, alone in the middle of the classroom, and there's nothing I can do without drawing more attention to her. I mean, yeah, she had character development, but maybe this was too much too soon for her. It's infuriating. Misha's worried, and even Shizune is biting her lip. Oh, hey, Emilio? Not sure if I read that right. None of us know how to deal with the situation, so I decided to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eye, silently motioning for him to come over. I want to make as little a fuss about this as possible, since if there's anything that would make this worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I know that Hanako could see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her, because they know that if there's a problem, it has to be her. Everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would leap to. Her reputation for being a truant has marked her as an unusual person, even an unusual Yamaku. Who knows how many times they have stared at her before. Maybe it's because she's seen the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes like she does, cowering from them. The time it takes Muto to walk over must be like an eternity to Hanako, and she looks as if she's about to fall over. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong, before catching herself as he sees Hanako. Did we upset her? Don't worry. Muto bends down after calming Misha, and looks intently at Hanako's face. Hi, Ikazawa. Can I help you at all? His voice is hushed and gentle. Oh, can I help you at all? Okay. Everyone's acting so differently around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something's wrong with her. Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. She starts shaking at his touch. Whoa. But won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk. Vision so unfocused I doubt she even sees them. She is worse than before. I remember that not even an hour ago she was able to talk to him almost normally. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression has changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle on himself before speaking in a very quiet voice. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Was that it? Nothing's wrong then. Muto seems to say that to no one in particular. However, his words sound convincing enough that most of the people who were looking over at Hanako have now turned away, getting back to their work. He gives a quick glance to his left and right. Several people at the desk around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto notices me doing the same as him and smiles a little, in his usual stilted way. I think, for Igazawa's sake, that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from others. Nakai Hakamichi, could you please take Ikuzawa out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about anything but her, okay? He looks at Misha to tell her to interpret his words for Shizune. She's already finishing her translation by the time he does so. It's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. Nodding, Shizune and I stand and move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow some room and talks to the table behind us, as some people there have begun to mutter between themselves about what's going on. We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, taking one arm around each of our shoulders and lifting. The two of us begin to walk at a slow pace to make sure we don't inadvertently hurt her. As much as we try to make this look normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us if not for Muto's distraction. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway. It doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she wants to just sit down. For a while, we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. Shizune tentatively rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response. Just goes to show how well trained the teachers in Tsuchiko have to be. Oh yeah, he must have recognized that she must have been having like some kind of like, well, I guess somewhat of a panic attack. Well, no, not really quite a panic attack, but more like... I guess quite literally freezing up with fear. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Shizune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's hand again comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she wakens, her face lifting to two very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something strange, but those tears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank state to a more normal withdrawn shyness. She wordlessly lowers her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something. Anything to help. I can't, though. I don't really know what just happened or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Shizune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I could tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? I try communicating my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Shizune makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impressions. She slaps her finger in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing at the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Shizune is much better at this than I am. I nod at her, since her plan is after all the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but she only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up and plays by herself. And when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being catatonic before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I thought she was freezing in place, but yeah, it was more catatonic. She looks extremely tired. After everything that's happened, it's not a surprise. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, the nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat, and I quietly and thoroughly go through everything that happened, in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has as good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods throughout my explanation, his face looking troubled as I finish. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either. Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I assume you've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point. Jesus. It's a bit of a minefield in that respect. I'm gonna put this pretty bluntly. There's a matter for Ikazawa, me, and her therapist. I mooch protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good. I wish I could help you more, but I think what Ikazawa needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs somebody to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well in bringing her here. Sounds like you and your friends dealt with the situation well too. I'd give you... Get out of here, Webroot. I'd give you a lollipop or a sticker as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She'll be led back to her dormitory room this evening, so you can visit her then. I agree with him before standing. So nobody should. Nobody loves whoever it said. It feels like all I can ever do around the nurse is humbly agree to what he says. But it was the same with the doctors in the hospital too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one. My mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. A panic attack is that they can take different forms depending on the source. They can also be contributing factors to catatonic states. Okay, that makes sense. I think, yeah, the panic attack is the more obvious one. But it does also make sense that you can go into a catatonic state. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning to knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Sorry, hold on. Oh, okay, I had a burp coming up. Let's see. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk. Nakai, I take it Ikazawa is in the infirmary now. Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. His speech is hushed. But overall, he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. Oh, shit. I did it again. Accident. Let's see, as we go out in the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. Yeah. Nakai, what do you think the purpose of the school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students? Muto scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we want to do what we have built No, if we want to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Oh, that's a good point. Look around, Nakai. School's about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we put in this much effort? The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No. That's right. We want you all to leave here as useful members of society. Okay, yeah, it's pretty Japanese. I'm not quite sure I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You're possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that teachers should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. I can't say that I put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lily questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future. Besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Muto gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right. As I raised my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Muto totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? Well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I'm going to keep you in class if you're having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not... Muto cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Ikazawa's case is very much like that. But instead of CPR or pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all her exams, though it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in his argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly physiological, its worst effects have been on her psyche. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for her problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I feel like I was getting used to this school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako? I believe, well, I hope that she'll perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. He takes care to emphasize the last word, as if it wasn't quite clear enough already. It gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'll be able to concentrate much anyway, after all that's happened. So, I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. Yeah. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now. Go collect your things. I'll see you tomorrow. Right. Thank you. Muto's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako, if anything, and my mind is all the more confused after what Muto said. A very Japanese outlook, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the biggest thing Japan works about, not works about, sorry, the biggest thing that they expect as a societal norm is for you to be a useful member of society. As long as you're doing that, then well, okay, you're a good, you're a functional person and normal, whatever. It's a good thing to be a useful person, a useful individual in society. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself, but I don't know whether that is just male bravado or a genuine concern. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her, and I'm there for her. But while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay in my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share, and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in a hospital. One look at her scars tells me that she was in one for a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up, or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes, ambitions, not even her taste in music, food, and movies. All the little things that I knew about all of my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lily? In the distance, I hear the bells signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around and return to the dormitories. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Hello, Hisao Nakai speaking. Oh, Hisao. I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. I probably should guess it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me. I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure. I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay. I'll be there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna mute this real quick because I have to blow my nose. Hang on. I am just gonna... So you're not staring at this. Let me just... Give me a moment. Okay, back. Oh, you're not gonna get me with that A-leaf. Open the game. Okay, I don't know if the game is quiet or... I wrap my knuckles on her door, and she soon calls me in. Okay, no, it was just pretty quiet. Okay. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for wear. I guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of an invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table. Didn't hear anything. Wait, do you guys hear the music right now, right? Like, it's soft right now. It's like soft piano music, but it's going. Thought they made an audio bug. Okay, but yeah, the music is kind of soft right now, so... I'm kind of wondering, actually. Hang on. Okay, maybe like that's better. Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Hisao? What happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain it as best as I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, she's ambitious questioning, our foray to town getting discovered, and the subsequent panic attack. I actually see his reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals will become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, and now isn't the time to explore it. I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Her birthday has caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around, and the more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now? Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now. She wasn't in the library or the team room when I checked, so I can only assume that too. You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Lily shifts her position, the body's way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her, and to spend some time with my family. What? Is she alright? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure exactly how she's faring at the moment, though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I could get. Stable. That's code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that. And to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone is in good condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief. Yes, but this means that I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. Oh. I wanted to tell you now, so we could think of something before we told Hanako. But after today's events, I'm not even sure if there's going to be an issue if we simply cancel the party. I don't think that's such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we were planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right? you make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week, or possibly 2. Well, that's one relief at least. With that in mind, what do you suggest then? Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. I feel sorry for her. You know how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Alright, give me a second. Alright, good old water. Perhaps it'd be better to throw the party before you leave then? That does sound like it would be the easiest option. I think we should at least tell Hanako, both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Should we go and visit her now? I think that'd be a good idea. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking. And these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We'll quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Walking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Oh, if I get to see her room. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There are no decorations on the plain white walls, a plain dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian items on the shelves. Even her bedsheets are monochrome. The entire room feels as subdued as Hanako's character. Oh. Hanako herself is laying curled up on her bed. She may not be crying now, but her eyes are closed tightly to stop herself. And the tracks left by her tears still sit on her reddened cheeks. I quietly walk in and set her bag down on her desk, afraid of startling her too much. Hello, Hanako. Hisao told me about what happened today. Are you alright? Hanako's eyes open, though only a little. I'm okay. No, you're not. How could you say that looking up with those sad, crying eyes? She tilts her head slightly to look at me, noticing my grimacing before I can hide it. Sorry for making you worry. Really, I'm fine now. She really doesn't look nor sound okay. At least she seems more calm than she was before. She still looks as if the slightest breath could emotionally break her. I said it before, right? You don't need to be sorry for this. Hisao's right. I shouldn't have hidden something like a birthday celebration from you. I see Hanako shiver at the word. Lily picks up the sentence that follows, and crouches down to Hanako's level. I'm the one who should be sorry, Hanako. Hanako's eyes open to peer at Lily. She looks at Lily for some time, taking in her face with those dark, analytical eyes of hers. Lily must have made the right impression on her, as Hanako recovers enough to prop herself up on the bed, and shifts to sitting on the side. Hanako worries about many things, but troubling others is foremost among them. Hearing Hanako shuffling, Lily moves forward and feels out the side of the bed, eventually taking a seat beside her, and taking Hanako's left hand in both of hers. The feeling of me being out of place when the two are together has lessened in the time that we've known each other. But it's still occasionally very much there. This is one of those times, I think. Lily, if you want me to go... I don't want that. Lily and I are both surprised at Hanako mustering her courage. A half mumbled okay is all I can give her in reply, and I take her desk chair to sit in. Hanako, I'm afraid I have some bad news. So Lily's going to break the news now. With Hanako having affirmed our relationship so clearly, perhaps Lily thought the timing was good, or at least as good as it will ever be. My aunt has fallen ill, so I need to return to my family for a time. Concern replaces Hanako's remorseful expression. Your family? You mean in Scotland, right? That's right. Akira and I will be leaving Saturday. So you're going away? I won't be gone for long. Probably only a week or two. I'll be back before you know it, and Hisao will be here, right? Oh, that's right. I'm not going anywhere. Hanako seems to take only minor comfort in this. Damn, ouch. But she does manage to summon some resolve from somewhere inside her. Is your aunt going to be alright? I'm not sure. Silence falls, suppressing that the thing to truly bring Hanako out of her rut is another's misfortune. I decided to bring up the other matter that brought us here, to distract at least in the part from the dismal feeling permeating the room. Anyway, we were thinking that it would be a good idea to have a going-away party for Lily. And it could double as... yeah. I cut myself off from mentioning her birthday, as that seems to be a trigger for such fierce emotions within her. Lily gives Hanako's hand oh. Lily gives Hanako's hand a gentle squeeze. Is it alright by you, Hanako? It won't be anything lavish or overdone. Just something small, in my room. So, just in the school? Just us? That's right. Just the three of us. If you like, I could ask Akira to come as well. Okay. You're only going for a week. 1 week or 2, yes. I promise you it won't be any longer. Okay. Most people would be upset at hearing about a friend's family member falling ill and happy at having a party. But with Hanako, it seems that both events are on the same level. Alright then, you look you need a rest, Hanako. So it might be best if we all went back to our rooms for now. You know that if you ever want anything, you can always talk to me or Hisao, right? Lily's voice is pensive, an unusual edge for someone as confident in herself as she. I understand. Thank you, Lily. Hisao. Well then, good night, Hanako. Night. I let out a long breath after the door closes behind us. It feels a little like I've been deep underwater, and only now have been able to come up for air. Lily doesn't seem to be doing well either. She looks pale and drawn. Are you alright? I'm just a little tired. It's been hectic recently. Have you slept at all? A little tired sounds like an understatement, given how you look. I think I managed to get a couple hours sleep before class. I'll be okay. I feel bad about pressing Lily right now. I think both of us are pretty tired from everything that's happened as well. I think you should get some rest. It's been a big day. And staying up isn't good for your complexion. Thank you for your concern, Hisao. Good night, then. Okay. Night, Lily. I leave Lily in the hallway as she opens the door to her room, and begin to make my way to my own. As I walk down the quiet hallway, I can't get that image of Hanako out of my mind. Huddled and pitiable, lying helpless with tears in her cheeks. I began to think that she was just a normal, if extremely shy person, but her problems run much deeper. Trying to take a relationship further than what we share now, when she's so fragile and vulnerable, wouldn't be right. I don't need to be more than a friend in order to protect her. try and stop anything like this ever happening again. I don't think it could protect her from everything, buddy. The possibility of my feelings for her going beyond that doesn't matter anymore. Hanako is precious to me, and that's why I can't take advantage of her. But even so, there's still that sting I feel when I think that way. For now, I need to sleep. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be a better day. Dang, Hanako's story is definitely more sad. Hanako is more noticeable in her absence than when she is in the room. I feel her empty desk calling out for me. I find myself peering over my shoulder endlessly, hoping that I'm hallucinating and that Hanako will magically appear. She makes sure she's as small a presence as possible when she attends class. And although she had been getting better recently, that fact never changed. Nobody ever pays her any heed in class, and now that she's not here, they don't notice her absence. It's as if she just never existed. Lily did say that her skipping class was an unusual thing before I met her, but still very off-putting. Bells heralding the end of school made me jump in my seat. It's only now that I've noticed Misha is prodding me in the side with her mechanical pencil to get my attention. Hello, is anybody in there? Hey, stop that. Ah, there we are. Welcome back to Earth, Hee-chan. What are you talking about? You keep on dazing off into space. I was beginning to think that you might be trying to contact alien life. I really did get much sleep last night, so I don't doubt Misha's words. I'm not sure whether it was due to my medicine's side effects, Hanako's panic attack yesterday, my worrying about her in general, or all three. I yawned tiredly before resting my chin in my palm, having been reminded of how badly I slept. Hey, are you really alright? Yesterday kind of rattled me as well. Yeah, I guess. I wanted to speak to Hanako again, though. Did you see her last night? Yeah, Lily and I talked to her. This may sound a bit weird, but can you tell she's saying thank you? From both me and Lily. I know Lily technically didn't think Shizune, but I could tell by her reaction last night that she wanted to. At least that's how it works out in my head. I think what Shi-chan is trying to say is you're welcome. The furious sighing of Shizune's red cheeks tell me that what she said was entirely different. Her blatantly flustered expression is amusing enough to make me chuckle. What's so funny, Hee-chan? Was this something we said? No, that's not it. I was simply thinking about how cute Shizune can be at times. Wow, you're right. Shi-chan is really cute when she tries not to be. I know that Misha decides not to sign her responses to Shizune. Maybe Shizune's rage is enough of a counter to any quantity of cute. Nevertheless, Shizune quickly calms down and signs something else to Misha. Oh? Okay. Shi-chan wants you to come and have dinner with us. Dinner, huh? Turn away from them a bit, lest I be swayed by their pleading smiles, and begin to mull it over. The invitation certainly is tempting. A takeaway dinner with two cute girls is not a bad thing, after all. The thought of Hanako locked up in a room, though, keeps dancing on the edge of my mind. Sorry, I'll have to pass. Aww. Misha doesn't sign my response, but Shizune picks up on it easily enough and grimaces in disappointment. She moves her arms, assumedly beginning some form of either protest or coercion, but stops herself and taps Misha's shoulder twice. Once Misha gives Shizune her attention, the only statement Shizune has on the matter is a shrug. Oh well, it's your choice, Hee-chan. I promise I'll join you to another time if that helps. Misha perks up at this, but Shizune doesn't share her reaction. With a flick of the head to signal for Misha to follow her way, Shizune simply raises her hand to silently wave me goodbye. As the two make their way out the door, I return the gesture until they're out of sight. I didn't think they'd be so disappointed. Makes it feel a little bad for ditching them. Still, I have things to do. The girls' dormitory is especially rowdy today. The number of girls loudly playing games and watching the television in the common room on the first floor. I can hear their voices even now, standing in front of Hanako's door. It's an odd contrast to the emptiness of the floor she's on. The voices from below make the emptiness feel all the more lonely. I had hopes Hanako would be in class today, especially after the talk Lily and I had with her last night. But I feel like I shouldn't hold it against her. It was a pretty awful episode, and to have experienced it firsthand must be all the worse. Not knowing what state she's in, I take a small breath before giving a few sharp knocks on her brown door. All I can do is stand and wait, doing my best not to feel anxious. As the seconds wear on, I begin to think she might be asleep and didn't hear me knocking. The door handle rattles a little before I can raise my hand to knock again, though. The door opens a sliver, an eye appearing in the gap only just large enough for it to peer through. I'm sure this girl would install a peephole in her dormitory door, if only such a thing was allowed. I just stand and smile at her. I don't think words would really help here after all. The act is returned in kind, with Hanako wordlessly looking at me. The gap's not wide enough to see her expression, and I can only guess what she's thinking. Time passes as we look at each other, the only sound being the disembodied gaiety from the ground floor. I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually the eye moves away. I keep wondering whether she'll let me in or shut me out until the door slowly begins to creak open. Now that I have a full view of her in her bedroom behind, the first thing I notice is that Hanako's hair is quite damp. She's recently showered, which made even more obvious by the scent of shampoo wafting towards me. The look on her face seems one of curiosity, as if she's not really sure what to make of me. Even so, I'm not really all that sure what she's thinking. It feels as if she's gone away for a long time, and having not returned, neither of us knows what to say to the other. Hanako realizes she's staring, looking away awkwardly before turning to the side and gazing at her feet. I decide to take it as an invitation and step past her in the room, closing the door behind me as I do so. I can see her hands fiddling in the folds of the oversized gown that hangs from her shoulders. I try to concentrate on what I want to say, but the scent from her addles my senses. To my surprise, it's not me, but Hanako that breaks the silence. Why? Because, why did I come here? I was worried about Hanako, so I came to her room. She let me in, as I had hoped, and then... What? What did I mean to do? What did I mean to say? Hey Andy, welcome. Why didn't I think this through before coming here? I think Hanako's statistic is on the low side. Kind of hard to fix live, though. I could have sworn I brought up the music a bit. I mean, it sounds louder on my end. How's that? It's even higher now. I want to make up for what I feel I caused, at least partly. I want to try and remove the distance I feel between us since then, and to see her happy. How could I do that when I don't know the first thing about her? I wonder this is how Iwanako felt when she saw me lying in that sterile pastel blue hospital bed. I, Deep sigh steadies my nerves a little, and ends my stammering. I don't think I've ever felt this nervous around someone before. When I'm like this, I don't think I can lie. Even if I could bring myself to, Hanako would see through it right away. I don't know, I just wanted to see you, I guess. Her fingers stop moving, giving me a little surprise. Looking up to her face, she gives a sweet smile and a nod. That was a satisfactory answer for her. Since you're here, I'd like to play a game of chess with you. I almost hang my head in disbelief that that's all she wants to do. After I've been winding myself up so much, just play a game. Looking at her face though, a tentative smile perched upon it, I realize that this is more than that. She could have not bothered answering the door. She could have shut it as soon as she saw my face. She could have asked me to leave. She could have rejected me on many points. But she didn't. Now with this calm face. She wants me to play the same game that we played when we first really spent time alone together. A feeling of relief washes over me. Everything will be alright. Hanako has left me into her world. As long as we can be together like this, I think everything will be alright. It would be my pleasure. I gotta admit, I got vaguely worried it was gonna have the freaking heartbeat with the food in the background. The day of Hanako's birthday party is finally here. To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Hanako and Lily in their pajamas again. Hanako's gown has grown on me, has looking rather cute, though a bit conservative. And Lily's shorts and thin silken top are a lovely combination. But the event is stained a little with the memory of Hanako's reaction to it. I still don't really understand what happened, only being able to vaguely guess the possible reasons for it. I don't think finding the answer will be as straightforward as asking her. With that in mind, I knock on the door next to Hanako's. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, it's me. You hear the pitter-patter footsteps coming to the door, followed by the sound of the lock snapping open. I don't think I've ever seen Lily's door locked before, and it makes me a little suspicious. Once the door opens, the sight is a little underwhelming for a birthday party. We have very limited CGs, man. Hanako returns to her seat at the table with a quick smile and a nod, leaving me to close and, assuming they wanted to be kept that way, lock the door. As I do so, I realize that the scene before me is that of an evening tea party, just like any other between the two. Somehow, I don't think I should be surprised. To my relief, Hanako looks relatively calm. That break from class has probably done her good. I give her time to wind down a bit. I take a seat between the two at the low table in the center of Lily's room, the brightly colored teapot steaming away between us. A tall brown bag close by Lily's side catches my attention. I currently try to glance inside a couple times, but can't get a good look from here. Looking at Hanako, it seems like she's as curious about it as I am. Hey, Lily? Lily finished off the teacup, raised her lips before settling it down and giving me her attention. Yes? I was just wondering about that brown bag. She pauses for a moment, then gives a slightly cheeky smile. That would be Akira's present. Unfortunately, she said she was working and can't join us. Lily leans over and feels out the item inside before raising her arm. I raise an eyebrow as 2 items, not 1, rise from the bag. The glass snacks are grasped by Lily on either side of her middle finger. So this is why she had her door locked. Wine. There are 2 small thuds as the bottles are brought to the rest on the table, 1 red and 1 white. I want to believe that it's fake, non-alcoholic wine. But if it was, there wouldn't be any need to be this circumspect. Alcohol? Seriously? Are you sure this is a good idea? Lily smiles politely and giggles. I'm not really convinced that she is. These would be the present for my sister. I know it's a bit questionable, but a little shouldn't hurt. If Lily took serious issue with it, I don't think she'd have agreed quite so easily. That aside, I had a kid who squared as a serious and responsible type. Maybe like an older Lily. But it looks like I was wrong. We weren't even legally able to drink yet. Oh, well, in that case, I won't complain. They don't look bad either. I'm no connoisseur, but at least the bottles look nice. Hold on. Might have to raise it down one level. Okay, that's a little better. Apart from the surreptitious glass of wine or two given for my father at family dinners, I haven't really had enough to know what's what. And I can't really say that I'm a total straight edge. But my Hanako's expression, she's thinking the same. And it's her birthday anyway. Shall I open one? Sure, I'll guess. My heart skips as I hear 3 sharp bangs come from Lily's door. Hanako's head flicks around, and Lily's eyes close as she listens intently. None of us want to be busted for this. Who is it? Let me in, I'm cold. Lily lets out a resigned sigh, or motioning for Hanako to open the door. She immediately gets up and fusses with her gown before moving, apparently still not quite sure of who it is, but trusting enough in Lily to do as she requests. I can just see a blonde, dark-suited figure become visible over Hanako's shoulder as she opens the door. Happy birthday, Hanako! I knew it had to be Akira. Thank you, Akira. Hanako gives a small bow before twirling her fingers in front of her. So this is Lily's elusive sister. Akira follows Hanako to the table after shutting the door behind her, giving me plenty of time to take a good look at her. She looks to be about the same height as Hanako, and has short blonde hair that's roughly cut. That, in addition to her rather modest breasts, masculine suit, and deep voice, gives her quite an androgynous effect. Without further ado, she plops herself down on the side of the table across from me. It's nice to have your company after all, Akira. Did work lay you off? Yep, I have to go back there in a bit, but I managed to get enough of a break to drive down. So, this would be Hisao then. A confident smile gets thrown in my direction, so I nod politely in return. Considering she just jumped straight into using my first name, she's much more informal than her appearance would suggest. Wait, she already knows who I am. That must mean that Lily's talked about me with her. I wonder what she said. Sorry for not introducing you, Hisao. This is Akira Sato, my elder sister. I see. Nice to meet you. The person in question loudly claps her hands together, making Hanako jump a little bit. Akira notices this and looks uneasy for a fraction of a second before getting back into her stride. Only now do I realize that Akira hasn't paid Hanako's scars any undue attention. Hanako also seems to be comfortable, if not exactly relaxed, around Akira. Well then, I assume the presents got through. No point in waiting, considering Hisao and the birthday girl look like they're pretty eager. Lily giggles as I awkwardly turn away, a little embarrassed by the fact that I couldn't hide my interest. Hanako's eyes are telling me that she wants to try the wine together with me, though, so I settle for a look of badly feigned indifference. Akira manages to uncork the first bottle with small effort, and Hanako goes to get some glasses before I get to pour the 4 of them full of white wine. I heard somewhere that white wine has less alcohol than red wine, so I think it would be the best to start with. Here's to Hanako, and to Lily's trip. Cheers! Cheers! After the traditional raising of the glasses, we all take sips of the pale yellow liquid. It's nothing like the stuff I had with my parents, with the fruitiness of the flavor almost entirely hiding the taste of alcohol. Maybe this is what proper wine is supposed to taste like. And again, it's possible that Akira just chose a wine which would be suited for our tastes, since none of us are used to alcohol yet. Or at least, I hope none of us are. No, this isn't too bad. I was expecting something harsher. If you hadn't liked it, I have a few other varieties you could have chosen from. You sound like you know your stuff when it comes to wines. Not only a bit, I'm more of a beer kind of person. I have the chicken side down pat, though. As if to prove her point, she refills her glass before bringing it to her lips, and flicking her head back. Hey, Geiko, you made it. Hanako and I silently watch as the whole glassful disappears down Akira's throat. I can't decide whether to be impressed or put off, but I certainly don't have any urge to imitate the act. Why did the music stop? Lily grimaces slightly at her sister's boast. I know that she's sipping from her glass as she does so, though. Anyway, now that Akira's gift has been opened and sampled, shall we move on to ours? Gifts? That's right. We got you presents. It's your birthday, after all. This is from me. Lily pulls out the carefully wrapped doll from under the table and passes it to Hanako. Hanako handles the present as if it was glassware, carefully turning it over to remove the tape that binds the wrapping. Eventually, the paper falls from the doll, revealing the emerald green of the doll's dress. It's beautiful. I'm not sure what reaction I was expecting from Hanako. The near total lack of dolls in her room made me think that she didn't care about them. But the look in her eyes now is something different. She turns the doll around with the same delicacy she afforded the wrapping, as if she was expected to fall apart in her hands. I'm glad that you like it. Hisao picked it out, to be honest. Hanako suddenly remembers that she is not alone in the room. It shifts her focus from the doll. Yes, I like it. Thank you, Lily and Hisao. Actually, I got you something else. I reach into my bag and remove the wrapped chess set. Here. Happy birthday. Hanako carefully sits Lily's doll next to her and opens my present with the same care that she showed Lily's. Before long, the checkered squares of the chessboard are visible, and Hanako gently runs her fingers across the curved surfaces. Oh. Almost by accident, she triggers the catch to the lid, shouting herself in the process. She opens it and retrieves one of the gray pieces. She seems as absorbed in the chess pieces as she was in the doll before. They're coral. Natural coral, undyed. Or so I'm told. Thank you, Hisao. Oh, no problem. It's your birthday after all. That's right. My birthday. Once again, Hanako's reaction seems a little off, but she carefully closes the board lid. I notice Akira's smile began to look very strained. I wonder if she knows anything about what's happened in class, given that she seems to be treading on eggshells around Hanako. I'll have to play it again sometime. I'll make sure I'll play you first. Oh. She takes the doll she received from Lily and holds it to her chest together with a small chessboard, putting the piece on top. The act seems to settle her down somewhat, and we just sit in silence for a while. I think it's one of the few times I've seen her genuinely happy, cradling the friendship of two people to her chest as tightly as she can. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Hisao. In the process of thanking us, Hanako drops the chess piece and fumbles a bit in her rush to retrieve it. When she finds it, Hanako puts the chess set down and nervously gulps at her wine. It's as if the real world suddenly rushed back into her consciousness, and her fastest escape from it was in a glass. Hey, easy there. You shouldn't drink it that fast. It is a party, Hisao. Despite saying this, there's a slightly concerned edge to her voice. Eventually, acquiescing, Lily proceeds to follow Hanako's lead, though not as eagerly. She looks to be taking small sips from her glass, and letting the wine settle on her tongue before swallowing. I decided that this is probably the best approach, and do the same myself. So, this is kind of a going away party for you as well. I hope you enjoy your trip at least a little, Lily. Hopefully your aunt will be okay. I hope your aunt is okay too, Lily. Lily and I are slightly taken aback by Hanako's fervor to wish Lily well, despite her own familial situation. I'm a little impressed. My, thank you both. I'll be sure to convey your thoughts to my family when I meet them. That'll all be fine in the end, Lily. Don't worry about it. Since the room's mood has become noticeably more sullen, I decided to try and move things along. Oh, excuse me a second. Let me get some water. Alright. Well then. Shall we start on the cake? Sorry, not the lake. On the cake. My tentative suggestion has the intended effect. Everyone lightening up considerably. Yes, please. Cake? I didn't know there was any cake. I picked one up before I came, along with some snacks. Well done, Hisao. At least one of us remembered to bring one. Everyone seems to welcome the distraction, so I retrieved the cake from my bag and started cutting it up. Mixing wine and chocolate cake isn't something that I thought would work well, but none of us seemed to mind. Conversation is temporarily suspended as we start to eat. I was initially wary of this idea. After Hanako's panic attack, I expected the worst from tonight. But I think Lily's idea of giving her good memories of her birthday is working. That and also having it shared with her going away party. From Hanako's reaction to her gifts, I could tell she was really appreciative. Hanako tries to pour herself another glass of wine, but ends up spilling some on the table. She's had a couple by now, so considering that she's never had alcohol before, just don't wonder if she's feeling a bit lightheaded. Sorry, Lily. I didn't mean to make a mess. Don't worry, I've got it. Aw. Lily pauses sideways and gently takes the fussing Hanako in her arms, giving me pause. It's okay, Hanako. I'm just happy you're here. Hanako gives only a faint nod in response. It's fitting, I suppose, that Lily would be the one to support her like this. I have no idea what Hanako would be like if she hadn't. Oh, excuse me. Seeing the two like this makes me appreciative of the fact that I'm privy to such an intimate moment. Even I can't help but smile at the sight. I never would have thought I'd manage to find new friends so quickly, and I'm all the more thankful that, of all people, these two are the two I befriended. They slowly break off from one another, Hanako regaining herself somewhat while I quickly get myself back on task. I find a towel among Lily's tea set and start mopping up the spillage. By the time I finish, however, Hanako and Lily have managed to uncork the other bottle and have topped off their glasses. Looks like you're enjoying the wine then. Just don't go too crazy with it after this, mind. We all definitely nod and agree, but her reminder feels a bit silly given that she's the one supplying underage people with alcohol. Oh man, they're fucking drunk. The second glass of wine goes down a lot quicker than the first. And before any of us notice, the second bottle is empty. While Akira is helping us finish them off, Hanako looks to be almost equaling her in the amount she's had. My head feels a little tight, but I think I managed to gauge my own tolerance surprisingly well. Hanako smiles lazily, toying with her doll's hair. I think it's a pretty safe bet that she hasn't moderated herself as well as I. I don't think it was Hanako's intention to get this drunk, but it seems that the alcohol hit her all at once. she has a very light brain. Something which wouldn't help her handle her booze well either. Lily cradles her glass, running a finger around the rim. Her cheeks are rosy, but she's managing to avoid looking woefully drunk. Akira is, as I somewhat expected, largely unaffected. Her smile might be a little wider than before, though, maybe. Hanako suddenly hiccups and accidentally knocks over the doll. I think I should maybe go to bed. Thank you, Hisao. Thanks, Lily. And Akira. She slurs Akira's name pretty hard, barely avoiding breaking out into a giggle midway through. She's completely plastered, and I can't decide whether I should feel a little bad or not for being amused at the state she's in. It really is bizarre to see her acting so carefree. A shame that it's only with the help of alcohol. Here, let me give you a hand. Akira begins to get up and help Hanako out, but she stops when Lily gives a sharp cough. Hisao, would you please? Akira looks a little surprised, and I have to admit that I am as well. I don't mind the request at all, let alone when it's said with such a smile. It just comes rather unexpectedly. Sure, no problem. I pick up the chest set and help Hanako stand up. I do feel somewhat responsible for her, considering that, other than Akira, I'm probably the most sober person in the room. She nurses the doll one hand and offers me the other. That's, I know she's drunk, but it's a slightly suggestive smile. Oh boy. That's our model is at her most expressive the game at this moment. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, they did say that she was more carefree when she's drunk right now, so she's not scared about how to act and stuff like that. What kind of front to put on, or being afraid of how she's gonna come off or what to say. We stumble out of the door into the hallway and into Hanako's room. Hanako bumping into me a number of times on the way. Inside the room, I flick on the light as Hanako turns her attention towards the shelf on her dresser. An elegant doll is sitting on it, staring into the bare room. There you go. You'll be safe in here. It looks kind of like Lily. Hanako gingerly places the doll next to the other one and straightens its dress. They sit in silence, hair and clothes perfectly arranged. Just like the teapot in Lily's room, they serve as a distinct contrast to the dull whites and grays that permeate her bedroom. Satisfied that her dolls, her only two real possessions, are safe, Hanako takes a step back and stands up, staggering severely. I step forward to catch her if need be, but she gains her balance without my help. For a while, both of us stand in silence as Hanako looks downwards towards the cupboard. After a minute or two, she begins to sway a little from side to side. It's very off-putting. Are you gonna be alright? Hanako raises her head, turns around to me as if she's only just remembered that I'm also in the room. Whoa. It's unexpected as she takes 2 steps towards me and wraps her arms around my body, her head coming to rest against my chest. I can feel my heart beating as all my senses feel like they're coming alive again, after they're deadening through the previous drinking. The smell of wine in her breath, the feeling of her fingers to my clothing, the scent of her hair underneath my chin. My hands remain out in front of me, not daring to touch her. The temptation is there to hug her, to embrace her, to tell her everything will be fine. But this feels wrong. Really, really wrong. It's probably because you feel a little bit more sober than her, so it feels like you're taking advantage of a drunk girl. Which is good on Hisao's part. Hanako? But I want to stay with you and Lily. Hanako's slurring reminds me a bit of Misha. She probably wouldn't be pleased to hear that. You know I can't. You're a girl and I'm a guy, after all. And Lily needs to sleep. She's actually pouting. She gives a disappointed groan. It's so strange for her to act so forward. Don't worry, I'll see you again tomorrow, okay? I decided to hand her head, to reassure her. saying that this is as far as I'll allow myself to go in terms of physical contact with her while she's in this state. Alcohol really loosens the bolts on her emotions. Hanako's head nuzzles against my chest. It makes me feel all the more uneasy with the situation. As her arms tighten around my back, I quickly decide to bail out. Oh man. I rest my hands on her shoulders and give a firm but gentle push. Her grip tightens a little as I do so, but she eventually breaks off. I don't want you to go. Hanako, please. Akira and Lily are going to start thinking weird stuff if I take too long here. Oh, it's perfectly true, too. I really don't want to take any chances, and I feel very uncomfortable right now. I shouldn't try to read anything into the way she's acting right now. I read that aside from alcohol lowering inhibitions, people can react to getting drunk in many different ways that don't necessarily reflect reality. And even without that, there are plenty of ways to interpret what she's saying. As long as she's safe, I'm gonna try and get out of her room as soon as possible. Oh god, another burp. Hanako hiccups again. Looking a right mess as she stands and looks downcast in the center of the room. Her personality changed as she drank more and more, and now, all alone in her room with me, her previous brightness seems to have left her. Was she just acting a beat to make sure we didn't worry? Even if she was, what could I possibly do for her, since I do exactly the same thing in regards to my own condition? Distancing myself from my thoughts. Oh shit, whoops, I brought the arrow up. The mouse. I eventually managed to corral Hanako towards her bed, though her attempts to tame the wild sheets on it end up accomplishing little. Sorry about tonight, Hanako. I know you probably won't remember any of this, but happy birthday. I'm sorry I couldn't do more for you. She looks up at me for a moment. I have no idea if what I said actually got through to her. But any chance to ask is lost as her eyes peacefully close. I sigh in relief before quietly backing away from her and leaving the room, flicking the light switch off as I go. I hesitate a little before opening the door to Lily's room again, quickly rehearsing what I should say if I get questioned about Hanako. After a few seconds, I still can't come up with anything. I open the door and make sure to close it behind me, lest any passing students catch a glimpse of the wine, before turning my attention to the two girls at the little table. Akita is casually smiling, as is Lily. I woke up the change from the mood in Hanako's room. Is that you, Hisao? Yeah, I got Hanako to her bed. She's sleeping now. Ah, that's good. I have to admit, I hadn't thought that she'd drink quite so much. Hey, it's fine. She's all safe and tucked up in bed now, with the way she is. Shockingly trails off, though Lily and I would hardly protest. For someone so anxious and fearful, drinking would give an easy out from those constant feelings. I wish I could do more for her. I feel useless. Looking at Lily, I think back to what I asked myself in town. My relationship with her is that of a friend, and has only ever felt that way. But now I think I know why. Lily's been there for both Hanako and me since I first met her, but she's like that for everyone, trying to do her best to make them feel better. With that in mind, then what's the bond between me and Hanako? After rescuing our relationship following the panic attack I inadvertently triggered during class, I feel like we're back to being friends, which is on my mind more and more. I can't say I view any other girl in quite the same way. But maybe it's just a normal reaction to someone acting like this. Say, Akira? She yawns before looking at me. It is getting pretty late. You know about what happened with Hanako, don't you? Yeah. Lily told me. I negotiated pretty hard for a break so I could come down and help make her birthday a bit brighter. We get along pretty well. Surprised to hear that from someone as extroverted as her. If Hanako came to know her through Lily, maybe she had the time to get used to Akira. And on that note, I better get going. I'm already going to be a bit late as it is. It's already so late. Sorry, we got a bunch of work dropped on us. So, overtime it is. She levers herself up with a grunt and heads past me towards the door. Just before she leaves, she turns back toward us. You haven't forgotten about the time for the flight and all the rest. Don't worry, I have everything ready. It's just a matter of packing when it gets closer to the time to leave. Atta girl. I'll see you guys later then. And with that, she disappears through the door with her right hand held high in farewell. Your sister is something, alright. I probably should have thought that comment. I should have thought. Wait, what? I should have thought that comment through before saying it. There you go. Regardless, Lily seems kind of amused at my appraisal. You okay after all that drinking? Not wasted and just hiding it well? I assure you, I am quite alright. I can moderate myself. You seem quite self-possessed as well, if I do say so myself. Yeah, well, I guess your moderation applies to me as well. With a little hesitation, I take a seat at the table in front of Lily. I want to address this directly, if for no other reason than to settle my own thoughts. I have been meaning to ask this, but it took me a while to make up my mind. Do you have any idea about what triggered that panic attack? I gathered it was something to do with her birthday, but I don't know anything more. Akira was really careful around her, so I assume she knows as well. Lily's smile drops. The gaiety at the birthday party now well and truly over. To be honest, I'm not sure of all the details myself. Hanako told you that she was in a house fire. She told me as much, after we met and spent a lot of time together. Other than that, she quite simply never told me. She never told you. Assuming the worst, what does she have to look upon? A life of isolation and possibly even the death of her own family. Maybe even going as far as blaming her existence for their deaths. You can think about what little I know. Hanako's past is bleak. To have lived through all that, and to live on with its memories, must be infinitely worse. Lily looks similarly depressed. I could see her rebuild at least some of her composure before my eyes. I get the feeling that both of us are talking more frankly than we might otherwise do, thanks to the wine. But it feels like just talking this out is a good thing anyway. I feel kind of helpless about it. When it's put like that, what can I possibly do for her? I'm not wholly sure I should tell you this, but Hanako told me that you visited her the day after we both went to check on her. I must admit that I did not predict she would take such a step so quickly after what happened. Or did I expect you to? I think it was a nice gesture on your part. It wasn't much, really. It's just, at times like this, I sometimes think it would be better if we never had to leave Yamako. Or at least this town. Things are so much easier without others around. I did expect Lily to look quite so troubled by what I say, and for a while she looks lost in thought. She moves to speak, but stops herself as soon as she does, and rethinks. It's a bit off-putting. I think... Tell me, do you have anything planned for Friday evening? Oops, actually I hit the mic. Friday evening? No. Isn't your flight to Scotland the next day? I don't think it'd be a good idea to tire yourself out before you even get there. I'll be alright. You needn't worry about me. I do this tomorrow evening, but I imagine Hanako will be feeling better off for a while. The thought of how she's going to be tomorrow. The thought of how she's going to be tomorrow makes me grimace. Maybe we should count our blessings that she didn't end up simply throwing up from drinking so much while having such a low tolerance. Well, I'm gonna be able to attend whatever you're... Wait. I'm going to be willing to attend whatever you're planning. What is it? Nothing unusual, I assure you. Just a little excursion. And you'd better be off, Hisao. I can't imagine it. It's long and all until curfew is here. Ah, damn curfew. I completely forgotten. I look at the clock next to Lily's bed. There seems to be some oddity without written numerals. Which I suppose makes sense, given Lily's condition. Oh, sorry. Big yawn. Not wanting to risk a haughty security patrol giving me a scolding, I get up and decide to get to my dorm as she says. Oh, well then. I guess I'll see you in Hanako tomorrow. Assuming the both of you manage to get up in the morning. Thank you for your concern, Hisao. Until then. With that, I make my way out of her door and into the hallway. I hope our day will be a good one. Hammering a fist against the door feels like a nail being pounded into my head. Once, twice, 3 times. I let out a long, annoyed breath and bear it while pressing my eyelids shut, fervently hoping for whoever it is to just go away. Ugh, I feel pretty damn awful. My face feels like it's cast out of lead. My arms feel heavy, and I feel very queasy. My arms are heavy. Vomit on his shirt. Mom's spaghetti. It's been like this since I woke up half an hour ago, and I can't summon the energy to pick myself out of bed. So, this is what they call a hangover. I wonder if perhaps this is the best treatment for teenagers who desperately want to try drinking as a way to feel like an adult. Considering how unpleasant this is, it's not something I want to repeat. It's because you didn't drink enough water. You gotta hydrate when you're drinking. A series of thumps rings out again, reverberating around the small room. I wish they'd just give up already. I have no intention of getting out of bed for them. Seconds pass, turning to minutes. Since no more knocks are coming from the door, whoever it is must have left. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I think we'll stop there because we're kind of getting close to a different scene anyway, and it also feels like this is a good point to stop considering like the progress we made. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was debating whether I wanted to just read just a little bit more, but it'd be better this way. I just thought maybe I could squeeze out just a bit more, but I think there's a good stopping point anyway. And that it. My voice is a little tired too, so there's that. But, Hanako's route is definitely more depressing, honestly. After seeing her in all the different routes, seeing her here is just... I don't know, it's just very depressing. I mean, we know a little bit of, like, how Shizune and Lily are with her past and everything, but at the same time, like, because Hanako's is more inward than it is outward, like them, I think that's kind of why the makes it a little bit more intense. Intense in like, I mean, just the overall emotional gravity of these scenes in general. Like, we've seen what happens when Hisao's the one, like, having a medical emergency. And then now we've seen one of the girls get into a catatonic state. So, yeah, I'm really kind of hoping Hanako catches a break. Definitely seems more realistic, yeah. It also feels a little bit more relatable because, I mean, at least in my case, when I was about 10 years younger, I definitely had that social anxiety and I was worried about too many things. Now, I mean, I still worry about things, but it's not in the way as it was before. It can be rough, though. Outside of rinse, this one hit me the hardest. Oh. Oh, okay. Alright, so. Anyway, dragging on this longer than I should. Alright, guys. Thanks for joining. We're gonna do more later this week. Shit, 41 hours. Okay. Alright, so guys, yeah, tomorrow will be maybe Man Eater. I'll see how it goes. If it crashes again though, that's it. If it crashes one more time during a stream tomorrow, I think that's gonna be it. I'm just gonna play the game on my own time. Because I don't like that it's doing that. And I feel like I really think the last time it happened, it messed with the audio. And it made it like desync. So yeah, that's annoying. Here, Tish ready movie, yeah. Alright, yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. If Hanako's, well, from what's being said, Hanako's route's gonna get more intense. Alright, guys, so I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your morning, day, night, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye.